Hopefully, and you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Minnesota Vikings. Why the Minnesota Vikings 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Or anybody spends any time at all watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, as I always try to do, shoot my mouth off. Anybody got anything to say? Just please feel free, throw it in the chat box. I usually check on the chat box like every, 5-10 minutes or so. So anything that gets put in there, I always check on it and I always try to respond to. So please feel free, fire away. Now, before we get started, anybody who wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. I got in the description box is a link, the top link right in the description box below. There's a video, a link. I'll take you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them, right? There's loyalty badges, which is pretty cool. Basically, what it is when you help support my channel, you become a member. What it is you get a loyalty badge. Now, each loyalty badge is a helmet from the New York Giants. The older the helmet is, the older the design is for the Giants, means the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. And they're pretty cool. Right now, there's emojis that you can use. You can throw them in a chat box, or if you're gonna, I guess, maybe put a comment in on one of my videos. You can use one of these emojis. I got 4 of them. There will eventually be coming a 5th one, be coming out soon. I had them made on Fiverr. They're pretty cool looking too. So as I said, anybody wants to help support my channel, once again, it would mean the absolute world to me. And then also in the description box, all right, there's 3 different links. Okay. The top link, okay, for Facebook. All right. The top one is I have a group. Okay. It's called the Gridiron. Right. Very original. I know. Now, as of right now, we have 1,900 members, over 1,900 members. Okay. There's stuff going in there every day. I mean, well, 3, 4, what do we got here? 5, 6, keep scrolling there, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I just put like 11 things in there within the past hour. So I'm putting stuff in there. Also, the great thing about it is, when you become a member, right, of the group, you can post stuff in there too. So not only am I posting stuff every day in there, it's 7 days a week. I'm always trying to make sure there's at least 5 to 10 different things going in there every day. What I'm saying, the cool thing is that not only am I posting stuff, but members are posting stuff as well. So there's a bunch of stuff going in there all the time. All right. So please feel free, click on that link and become a member. And then finally, there's 2 links underneath that to both Facebook links. They're pages. The top one is a page is called the New York Giants. It's called the Gridiron, but it's a page. This is one I'm like the administrator on. I post. I'm the only one to post stuff in here. Okay, but it's the same thing. I post at least 5 things every day too. I just put in, let's see, 3, 4, 5. I just put 5 things in there that, once again, like in the past hour or so. And I'm going to be posting more stuff before I go to bed. But it's the middle link, Facebook link. It's called the Gridiron. Right now, we have 410 people who like the page, and there's over 1,100 people who are following it. There's another link too. It's the bottom link, Facebook link. It's to another page too. It's called This Day in Giants Football History. Not quite as involved in that one yet because this is between the YouTube channel, the Facebook group, the Facebook page is taking up a lot of my time. But possibly after the season's over with, I'll start getting more heavily involved in that one too as well. So please click on that one too. That's the bottom Facebook link. Click on that one, like it, and follow it too as well. And as I said, with the page and the group, the New York Giants, the Gridiron, the page, like it and follow it, and same thing, become a member of the group. And, as I said, you get all kinds of new stuff every day. And it's money back guarantee. If you're not happy, right, you get your money back. All right. All that's said and done. Man, I'll tell you what, boy. It's always great on a Monday, isn't it? After getting a W on a Sunday, man, it feels great, doesn't it? It's been a little shaky late. I mean, what do we have? Where we beat the Texans, right? And then we tied the Commanders. I mean, like the last 5 weeks, but I mean, between like losing to like the Lions and then losing to the Cowboys and losing to the Eagle. I mean, it's been the last 5 weeks or so. It's been kind of rough, but I'll tell you what, this one feels good. Going on the road, right, and beating the Commanders. Now, you can say, okay, which would, tough to argue. I mean, maybe the football gods were kind of looking down on the Giants there, and the Giants got a little lucky, and they did. I mean, that pass interference, which was pass interference on Darnay Holmes, one of the last plays of the game in the end zone. Certainly could have been called without question. They didn't call it. Okay, I'll take that. All right. And the Giants, the Giants had a couple calls go their way. All right. Now, a lot of times, what we're saying, we're kind of saying like the opposite. The Giants got screwed over, right? A lot of times. So I'll just give you a couple scenarios. I mean, also, like last night, I mean, when the Commanders went for it on, they scored their touchdown, okay, and it was 14-9. They went for the 2-point conversion, okay, after that touchdown, all right, to make it 14-11 and give them a chance, have them within a field goal, right? That's, I guess, a smart move. So they got called for like pass interference in the end zone. That one was kind of, I'll tell you, I mean, the Giants got a little lucky. That was a little ticky-tacky. I mean, they called that pass interference, okay, but then they didn't call pass interference. Yeah, it was offensive pass interference. But the one on Darnay Holmes, he called pass interference on that. I mean, I think that one was pretty ticky-tacky. I mean, that one certainly, I can certainly see where they, didn't have to call that one. All right, so the Giants locked out that one. They got a couple of the other ones. I mean, like the Daniel Jones fumble that, he just got his elbow was just down just before the ball started coming loose. So that was a good call. When Sexy Dexter knocks the ball loose out of, I think Sexy Dexy got half a sack and Azeez got another half a sack on that one as well. When the Commanders were marching, I forgot, it was down like the 5-yard line or the 10, whatever it was. It was deep in Giant territory. I mean, they were certainly going to get at least 3 points out of it, if not score a touchdown, right? But Dexter knocked the ball loose just before Heineke's like knee or anything was down, right? That ball came, it was loose. It was a fumble. And thank goodness for instant replay there, right? And they reversed it because on the field they didn't call it a fumble, right? But it was a fumble, right? That was a good challenge by the Giants, right? I said, so that one worked out well. But I mean, a couple of the calls there, I said, I mean, you could say you could say the last play of the, well, not the last play of the game, but the one in the end zone with Darnay Holmes is draped all over the receiver in the end zone. If you're going to let that go and just say, let him play some football. Okay. All right. Okay. But then you can't call that pass interference on the offense against the Commanders after they scored a touchdown and make it 14. You just can't do that. I mean, that was, if you're going to call that one on the Commanders, you got to call pass interference on Darnay Holmes. I mean, it is what, you know what I'm saying? Right. So, you know, I can see, but the thing is also, okay, is that if you call pass interference on that one, yeah, okay. All right. So now since it happened in the end zone, that means the Commanders would have to score a touchdown. Okay. I mean, being at the one, I mean, they can almost run the ball at will. Right. So there's a good chance they were going to, score a touchdown. But it's not a given. I mean, just because Darnay Holmes was all over them doesn't mean that you just give the Commanders a touchdown. I mean, that's a penalty. So throw a flag. It happened in the end zone. So they moved the ball to the 1 yard line. First down and 10 for the Commanders, right? So it was whatever, it was like a minute or so to go. They had all the time in the world. They could have danced the Macarena or whatever they wanted to for 4 plays. I mean, they had plenty of time to score. But I'm saying, doesn't mean they were going to score. But let's just say they did score. Okay, so they scored a touchdown. Now they would have to go for 2 because they were down by 8. So now we're, I mean, people complaining in this, some of the Redskins fans and all that. I'm never Redskins, Commanders fans, and I understand. But I mean, now you're saying that the Commanders would have scored the 2 points on a conversion to tie it up, right? I mean, well, the Giants, would have had the ball, could have got the ball back, like 40 seconds or so, whatever. Maybe the Giants kicked the field goal, maybe the end. You don't know. But so then they also were assuming that the Redskins, I'm so sick and so used to saying Redskins, the Commanders were saying that the Commanders would have, then gone on in overtime and wound up beating the Giants in overtime. So we got a lot of ifs here, we're assuming a lot of things here. Just because, there was the pass interference, now we're giving the Commanders a touchdown. We're just saying, okay, of course, then they would have got 2 points, the 2-point cover. And then, of course, then in overtime, they would have beat the Giants. So there's a lot of things, right? But I'm saying just because you call the penalty doesn't mean that the Commanders would have won the game. Okay. Now let's backtrack to last year. Okay. Second game of the season. Okay. Where a wrong call directly cost the Giants a game, right? I did a video on this. All right. It's actually I put some of it in I can't remember if I put it in the page or in the group, but there's a video which I did on YouTube. It was the day after, a day or two after the Giants when they lost to the Washington football team last year, 30-29. Dexter Lawrence was not offside on the field goal try that they missed. Right, he was not offside. He moved when the ball moved. Right, if you go back and you can look on YouTube, you can find my video or find somebody else who did it. He moved when the ball moved. He was not offside. Okay, that was a bad call, and that if that call was made correctly, right. The Washington football team missed the field goal. The Giants would have got the ball and ran the clock out, and they would have won the game. End of story. So that call cost the Giants a game. This can't say so much for this one, the pass interference in the end zone, right? But Billy, how big was Kate? Wow. Yeah, I'll tell you. It's nice. He seems to be, things seems to be playing, slowing down for him a little bit. Yeah. VDG man. Yeah, seems to be slowing down for him. I just every now and then, I mean, because the one thing that just makes me lose my hair, okay, is like when it's a run and play, okay, and like once or twice, I know there was specifically one in they're like faking the hand off or whatever, and and one of the Commanders guys looks like pretends like he has the ball and he's like running away from Kayvon, right? And Kayvon's like, oh, it's a run. I'm just going to crash down the line of scrimmage. I'm going to run straight down the line of scrimmage, and I'm going to try to make the tackle on the other side of the field because I know it's a run, and because they can't possibly be faking it and run it around my way. No, so it's a handoff, and I'm just going to haul ass and make the tackle. So he's running, and then all of a sudden Heineke's got the ball, and he just starts looping around where Kayvon was, and Kayvon's like, "Oh shit, it's a fake! Oh god!" he's got to learn, you're setting the edge. You know what I mean? Nobody gets around you. Okay. It's great to try to make a tackle. That's great. But, once you once you start running there, you got 20, 30 yards of open field on the one side, that anybody, even me, can gain a first down on. Okay. So, we see that a lot. I see that a lot. What I mean? Just because it looks like it's going, or they hand the ball off, right? And the ball starts going the other way. So then, they start running right down the line of scrimmage and running and running and running. And then they got the wide receiver coming from the other, and they just hand the ball off to him, and he's coming around this way. And Kayvon's like, or whoever the guy is on the edge, whether it's maybe Azeez or Kayvon or something like that, they're like, oh crap, it's a reverse. I'm screwed, you gotta protect against that. I mean, it's great to try to run down and all this, but you're not maybe so like the last line of defense, for them scoring a touchdown, but you're like, you're supposed to be there setting the edge, right? You got to make sure if you're running down, there's no way that they're coming back, because if they start coming back, they're getting around you and they're getting big yards on the run. And I keep seeing that. I mean, there was once in particular with Heineke, they faked the handoff and Kayvon was running down the line of scrimmage, and he pulled the ball out and he just starts running around where Kayvon was at, and he picked up 10, 15 yards. And, I mean, that was a bad play. Hopefully he'll start learning to set the edge a little bit better. But I mean, he's starting to come into his own. Now it'd be interesting to see. Now, he seems like he's really starting to get better and better and better. Now, is that because Azeez is there too? And then we got the dynamic duo there, Azeez and Kayvon. But I mean, he was really phenomenal. I mean, he should be definitely, without question, the defensive player of the week, without question. NFC defensive player of the week. I mean, 12 tackles he was on. He got the grand salami there, all four, right, on that one. He got the sack, right? He got the strip fumble. He recovered the fumble and he scored a touchdown. He got the grand salami on the one play. That's tough to do. So he's definitely coming his own, and we need that. We certainly need that. Now between Azeez, right, Kayvon, Sexy Dexter, hopefully we keep. I'd love to see him maybe do something with Leonard Williams' contract next year, extend it out maybe another 2 years or so. Nothing crazy, but extend it, because I think he's making like Leonard Williams making like $32 million next year. So if we can do something with his contract, next year's his last year, extend him a couple years, because, he's still good, right? But, extend him, take that $32 million cap hit next year, drop that down to maybe around 20 or so, right? And that'll give us another $12 million or so toward the salary cap. We're going to let Kenny Golladay go after June 1st. That's going to save us like another 13, so. But, we got a nice front four there. Really, really nice front four, right? Obviously, Azeez, Kayvon, Sexy, they're going to be expensive. You got two edge rushers, and you got Sexy. That's going to be expensive, okay? And we got Leonard Williams. So let's see if we can keep those four guys together, at least for a little while, okay? They're going to be expensive, right? But we got to do something, about that run defense. The guy, the second level, the guys, the middle linebackers, I know they're trying this, that, and the other thing, but it's just, They showed a stat last night that the Giants have given up 150 yards before last night, 150 yards rushing, 4 games in a row. And that's the first time since 2004 that's happened. So basically, had to go back almost 20 years before the Giants gave up 150 yards rushing in 4 straight games. Well, the Commanders got 159, I believe it was, last night. So now we're up to 5 games in a row. The Giants, I don't know how far that goes back. Okay, but we're probably going back into the 90s or whatever, So it's been a long time since the Giants have given up 5 straight games of 150 yards rushing or more. It's tough. When you don't have a lot of firepower, you can see when you're going up against, the elite, like the Eagles, right? And they can run or pass, and they got a really good defense, you're in trouble. Okay. I'm not saying the Giants going to Super Bowl, and obviously we got some holes to fill and all that. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful season. We're seeing the deficiencies the Giants have, but certainly, I mean, we need a stud wide receiver. Hopefully, each year the Giants keep adding another wide. We added Wan'Dale Robinson next year. Hopefully, in the early rounds, we're going to add another wide receiver, right? But yeah, we got to do something about that run defense. I mean, if we can ever get Adoree Jackson back and Xavier McKinney, right, that would be huge. Maybe we can add another little piece to the cornerbacks. But I mean, we need to address that inside linebacker position. But yeah, Kayvon certainly coming on. I tell you what, it's going to be. We're going to need him this week against the Vikings, because I tell you what, Jefferson and Thielen, I'll tell you, they got a good wide receiver core there. Oh, they're very, very good, very, very good. And we're gonna need Azeez and Kayvon all that to get pressure on Cousins. It's a good thing about he's not overly mobile, which is good. Okay. You got to keep him in the pocket, but we can collapse the pocket. Hopefully, get some pressure on him. But I mean, it's going to be a tough game. Tough game. All right, but we got, let's see, real fast. We got, because I'm going to shoot my mouth off almost 20 minutes here. Right? We got, Nick Vannett, the player grades. All right, so far for offense. Nick Vannett, who was in there for 10 total snaps, graded out of 91.5. All right. Very good. It was just 10 snaps. Okay. Daniel Jones was pretty much the number one guy. He graded out of 75.8. All right. Didn't have phenomenal stats, but once again, didn't turn the ball over. Only has 4 interceptions. Right. Giants have played, 14 games. He has 4 interceptions. Actually, he's thrown interceptions in 3 games. All right. If you go back to week 1, take week 1 away. Right. I know you can't do that, but I'm saying, so basically in the last 13 weeks, Daniel Jones has only thrown interceptions in 2 games. He threw one when David Sills fell down, the last offensive play of the game against the Cowboys. Right. And then he threw 2 against the Lions. But in that, he has, another game on the road, no interceptions thrown. Now, I don't want to, harp on this, because he'll wind up throwing 5 interceptions against the Vikings, but another good, solid game. Give the guy, a little better pass protection. Hopefully Evan Neal gets a little bit better next year, right? Maybe we can add somebody in the draft, maybe, Feliciano. Maybe we get Nick Gates in there at center. Maybe we can add a guard, another guard. We'll have to wait and see. But give him another. Maybe we get Sterling Shepard back. Maybe re-sign him. We'll get Wan'Dale Robinson back. Add another stud wide receiver early on in the draft. Give Daniel Jones some weapons, and let's see what we can do. Right. But Daniel Jones was a 75.8. Saquon, right? He was in there for 54 snaps, graded at 70.6. Had those 3 big runs at the in the fourth quarter. The 3 runs in a row, he had got double digits, 3 straight plays in a row. Man, that was good. Richie James, big game from him, 68.5. Right, he graded out at. He had a very, very good game. Andrew Thomas graded out of 66.9. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, the Commanders got a good front 4. So Matt Breida was in there for 11 snaps, graded out of 66.5. Nick Gates was in there for 21 snaps. All right, at left guard. So basically him and Ben Bredesen split time. Okay. I'm surprised Ben Bredesen just came back, and he had him in there for 42 snaps. I didn't know. I didn't think it'd have him in there for that many snaps. But so Nick Gates at left guard, 21 snap, graded out of 66, which is very decent. His pass blocking grade was an 81.7. Mark Lewinsky was in there the whole game. He graded out of 65.3. His pass blocking was a 76.8. John Feliciano at center. He was in there every snap. He graded at 63.5. His pass block was an 82.7. They did a very, very good job pass blocking, a lot of quick, short pass routes. Nothing, it's Daniel Jones in the pocket for 4 or 5 seconds trying to wing the ball deep downfield. None of that. A lot of short stuff. Get the ball, 1, 2, 3, boom. 1, 2, 3, boom. Get the ball out of his hands. Right. Let's see. I mean, was he even sacked last night? That's his name. So the offensive line did a very, very good job. Ben Bredesen was in there for 42 snaps. Came back after the injury, so he was a 63.1, right? Chris Myrick was in there for 6 snaps. He graded a 61.2. Tyree Phillips, he was in there for one play. I saw he was at they say right tackle, but there was a 6-man line, and I thought they were going to run off of it, and they wound up passing off of it. So he was in there for 1 snap. He graded out at a 60. Julian Love, I'm not sure. They got him in there. Lawrence Cager, he was in there for 1 snap. He graded out at a 60. Marcus Johnson was in there for just 2 snaps. He graded out at 58.4. Kenny Golladay was in there for 1 snap. Oh, my God. Graded out at 57.7. Darius Slayton, 49.9. He was in there for 59 snaps. Daniel Bellinger was in there for 62 snaps, graded out of 48.6. And Evan Neal was the worst graded one. He was in there for every snap, and he graded out of 44. His pass blocking was a 36. So he 2 games. He's both the games. Let me see here. Evan Neal against the Commanders. Well, he graded a 53.9 the first time. This time it was a 44. I mean, he's had the past couple of weeks has been just rough. He's had a rough season. He's grading out a 43.8, which is a lot worse than Andrew Thomas was. I mean, I'm sure he's going to work on his craft, and as the years go by, he'll get better. But yeah, he graded out a 44 against the Commanders, and his pass block was a 36. His pass blocking against the Eagles the week before was a 20.2. So he's had, he's had his struggles. He's had his struggles, but I certainly think he's going to work on his craft without question. And look for a little bit of a rebound next year, maybe years going forward. Because he seems like he's a pro's pro, and I'm sure this is eating at him. He's not doing very, very well, and I'm sure he'll do everything possible to start turning the tide on how he plays. But he's had his struggles this year. Now on the defense, Tony Jefferson, the strong safety, was in there for just 19 snaps, but he graded out a 91.4. He was on there for 14, coverage snaps, right? So he was in pass coverage 14 snaps or 14 plays. Graded out at 91.4 in the pass coverage. Very, very good. So let me see him here. Tony Jefferson, what do we got here? Well, yeah, I mean, he's let's see, against the Eagles, he graded a 69.1, but his coverage grade was a 70.6. In week 13 against the Commanders, he graded out a 56.1. His coverage grade was a 68.5. So he's not bad in coverage. He was in there. He played against Tennessee the first week of the season. His coverage grade was a 65.1. Right? Yes, I mean, he's not bad. Not too bad. He's never played like a full game. The most snaps he's ever played in the game was 28. That was in week 13 against the Commanders. 28 snaps, right? So, but he had a very, very good game for the Giants last night. So Tony Jefferson, look for the Giants maybe to try to hold on to that guy. Because you always need good quality depth, and he would be cheap. Maybe we can keep him, right? Sexy Dexter, he graded at 90.2. Another phenomenal game from Sexy Dexter. Sexy Dexter, what is his yearly grade? It's a 91.7. Very, very good. Sexy Dexter, he's the frickin' man. I tell you what, he's putting up some good numbers. Giants going to be signing him to a nice contract. Kayvon Thibodeau, he was number 3, 89.7. His pass rush was an 88. Azeez Ojulari, he was a 79.4. So our bookend, our edge rushers are doing very, very good. I think Ojulari, ever since he's come back from his injury, I think he's had a sack he got half a sack, I think, last night. But I mean, every game he's had a sack since he's come back. So he's really looking good. Jason Pinnock, he was a free safety. He was in there for 58 snaps, graded at 78.2. Micah McFadden, he kind of had a little bit of a bounce back. He was in there for 31 snaps, 72.6. Okay. Leonard Williams, he was in there for 53 snaps. Thank goodness. So good to see him in there. He graded at 62.8. Nick McLeod, he was in there for 46 snaps. He graded at 61.8. Julian Love, all right, at safety, he was in there for 63 snaps, graded at 61.3. Justin Ellis, He was in there for 12 snaps, graded out of 58.1. Fabian Moreau, or Fabian Moreau. He was in there for 63 snaps, graded out of 57.7. Landon Collins, okay, 27 snaps. All right, he graded out of 56.9. Nothing super spectacular, but he wasn't absolutely horrible. His run defense was only 43.1. All right. His coverage grade was a 68. Okay. So Jalen Smith, he was in there for 49 snaps, graded out of 56.6. Toman Fox, he was just in there for 8 snaps, graded out of 55.6. Oshane Ximines was in there for 6 snaps, 55.4. Cordell Flott was in there for 19 snaps, graded out of 50.6. Jihad Ward was in there for 26 snaps, 50.6. Darnay Holmes, who had that pass breakup in the end zone. Right, he had 42 snaps. He graded out of 46. Ryder Anderson at right end was in there for 12 snaps, graded out of 40. And Henry Mondo, he was in there for 12 snaps. He graded out of 30. Okay, so you got your good grades, you got some bad grades. It is what it is, right? All right, and finally, we got the team grades. I want to go over the team grades here real fast. All right, so what we got. Let's see the Giants. The overall team grade. This is I mean, Pro Football Focus. All right, overall team grade. The Giants are rated number 29. Overall team grade. They're a 66.1. Eagles are number 1 at 92.7. Offensive grades. The Chiefs number 1, 84.9. And the Giants are number 25, 68.5. I mean, you got to look. I mean, the Giants are 8-5-1, but they've scored 287 points. They've given up 312. They've given up 25 more points than they've scored, and they have a winning record, right? All right, now we got the passing grade, overall passing grade from PFF. The Chiefs are number 1, 88.8. The Giants are number 19, 67.3. Pass blocking grade. The Eagles, because they got that great offensive line of 82.3. Giants are number 19, 64.3. Receiving grade. 49ers, 82.8. All right. 49ers. They're gonna be tough in the playoffs, especially if they ever get Jimmy G back. Or I mean, they got the guy now. Was it Purdy? I mean, tell you what, he might be a keeper for him. The Giants are number 28. They're graded out of 67 overall for the receiving grade. Offensive running grade, the Raiders, 92.2. And the Giants are, where the Giants are? Giants are number 17, 81.5. Wow, they jumped up. They weren't that high last week. Run blocking grade. The Falcons, 81.2. Giants are number 13, run blocking, 13, 60.3. Defensive grades. 49ers number 1, 84.3. And the Giants are, let's see here. Giants number 30 overall. Wow. 54.3. Wow. Jeez. Okay. This is according to PFF. Run defense. The Giants will be low on this one. The Rams, they've been like number 1 all year, I think. 89.2 the Rams are. The Giants are run defense, number 26. 46.4, which is true. The run defense is horrible. Tackling. New England Patriots, 89.9. The Giants are top 10. It's like the only one that really good at 76.2. All right, so which is huge. I mean, because when they have to, they make the tackles, so that's good, right? Pass rush. The Eagles are number 1, 84.7. The Cowboys are number 2, 82.6. Because those two teams lead the league in sacks. What we got? 19. The Giants are number 19, 69.4 pass rushing grade. Coverage grade. Denver Broncos, 91. Giants in coverage grade here. Giants are number 32, our coverage grade. Somehow we're number 32 according to Pro Football Focus. 46.3 is our coverage grade. We have the worst coverage grade in all of football, but we're 8-5-1. So you go figure. Commanders number one special teams grade. They're at 91. All right. The Giants are number 29, 64.2. So we got some room to grow there. But and I'll tell you what, the one thing, thing that like backfired on them, right, is that at the end when they kicked the field goal and they went up 20-12, and it was two kind of things of thought here. It's like, well, it's toward the end of the game, right? They're kicking off to the Commanders. It was like, well, let's drill it deep and have them start at the 25, or we can kick it a little short. They'll catch it at the 1 or 2, and we'll tackle them before they get to the 20 or 25, and they'll use up some clock. Well, I guess that's what their thinking was, but it didn't work out really well. When they ran the ball out to the frickin' 43-yard line, they started to drive. They scored a touchdown, right, and get a 2-point conversion and send it in overtime, and they almost did it. Okay, but they ran the ball out to the 43-yard line. They used up 8 seconds off the clock, which was okay, cool, right? But you got to tackle the guy. It seems like almost every week we're giving up like a long play on special teams. I don't. We got to get some better guys on special teams. Yeah, or exactly what it is, but yeah, we're giving up every game. We're giving up something long. Can't do that. Can't do that, right? The Giants didn't shoot themselves like with a lot of penalties. They had no turnovers, but right? Maybe next time they'll just decide to kick it into the end zone, right? But it was just like they get the ball says right after the 43. It's like, oh my God, it's just almost backfired on him. Well, guys, it's been 37 minutes. Shoot my mouth off. Vinny G-Man, thank you so much. Thank you for the comment. I greatly, greatly appreciate anybody spending any time at all watching this. Once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you. Or anybody spends any time at all watching the replay of this. Once again, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. You guys are the absolute best. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.